What's the line?
All right, I think we'll go ahead and get started because we're at 12:01 here, and I see we already have some people joining. You guys can see my screen? Cool. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So we are recording this in case anyone has like a colleague that they want to send it to, but we are so excited to officially kick off our webinar with Because, Rebuy, and Canopy. Today, we're going to be discussing how Canopy used Because and Rebuy to increase AOV by 5% and conversion rate by 21%, and ultimately how to maximize your in-cart upsell and conversion power on your website. We have two amazing platforms coming together today, both Because and Rebuy, both leaders in the personalization space, to really discuss how to implement personalization throughout your site for both conversion and AOV increase. You guys are lucky to be hearing directly from a Shopify wellness brand, Canopy, on how they actually did that on site. So you guys can hear directly from the mouths of an e-commerce manager and kind of get a sense of how you could do it yourself. So let's start by going through our agenda, and then I'm going to get you guys introduced to our amazing speakers here today. And then we'll kind of get the ball rolling on the tactical ins and outs of how to do all of this. So first on our agenda, we are going to have Canopy share a story with us firsthand on some of the challenges they were facing on trying to increase AOV, and then a walkthrough of how they were able to use Rebuy to accomplish that AOV increase. From there, we're going to get a back-end walkthrough of how to actually set all of that up inside of Rebuy, set it up on both the PDP, cart, and checkout. So sort of that back-end tutorial of that full setup process. Then we'll hand it back over to Canopy to talk through some of the challenges that they've faced around increasing conversion on their site. They'll walk us through how they used Because to increase conversion rate, how they were able to accomplish some of those challenges, and then ultimately a walkthrough from Because on how to set that all up on the back end for personalization and A/B testing. So you guys are going to really be able to see all of the ins and outs today on how to increase both conversion and AOV. A little bit on the speakers. So we have myself, Ashland, the founder and CEO of Because. We're a female-founded tech startup. We are a no-code A/B testing and CRO solution to help you create a dynamic website experience that increases your conversion. We're used by over 1,000 Shopify merchants like Canopy, Hello Kitty, as well as Tom Brady's TB12. We do integrate with your entire tech stack, including Rebuy, also platforms like Klaviyo, Recharge, Yotpo, Loyalty Lion, and more. So you'll hear a lot more on Because today. We do also have Anastasia Postolati, the very Italian name, hopefully I didn't butcher that, who is the e-commerce manager at Canopy. Canopy is a Shopify health and wellness brand. They started to help you unlock the full potential of your beauty and wellness routine at home. Research shows that the home environment plays a major role in achieving that glowing skin and a healthy body and mind. So Canopy was started with a line of reimagined devices that optimize the home for both beauty and wellness. Rebuy, we are going to have McKinnon Newell, who is the partner specialist at Rebuy. They are a fully integrated suite of omni-channel personalization solutions used by over 10,000 merchants like Olipop and Pura Vida, and obviously Canopy. The main functionality that we're going to be discussing within Rebuy today is how to use Rebuy to lift AOV with both AI-powered upsells and cross-sells at key decision points for both the PDP to the cart to the checkout and beyond. So if you guys are coming to this webinar today and you're either using Because and you're checking out, planning on using Rebuy, or using Rebuy and you want to check out Because, or you're not using either of these platforms and you want to check out them both, this is ultimately going to be a webinar on the integration of these personalization solutions throughout your site for two key metrics, and that is Rebuy for AOV and Because for conversion. So let's go ahead and talk about some of the impact that Canopy has seen. I'm going to start by just teasing some metrics with all of you because I think it will kind of like spark your attention on what are we actually trying to accomplish through all the setup we're going to show you today. So some of the impact that Canopy was able to see using Rebuy, they were able to drive a 5% AOV increase, a 28.5% year-over-year growth in bundles as their first purchase sales, which Anastasia will talk more about why that matters and how that's been impactful for their business, and then a higher LTV with bundle purchasers versus standalone purchasers, which again, she will discuss why that has been so important and impactful to their business. On the Because side, Canopy had seen a 26% conversion increase. I think that actually increased a little bit since we made some of the graphics. That was awesome to see that increase. 37% add to cart rate increase, and zero developer hours. This is all totally no code. And this webinar is going to teach you how to actually drive this impact for your store. So with that, I'm going to hand the stage over to Anastasia, the e-commerce manager at Canopy, to discuss a little bit of their story around some of the challenges they were facing with AOV, and then actually show us how that gets implemented on site.
Perfect. Thanks, Ashland. Hi, everyone. Super excited to chat with you all today. I think our journey with Rebuy started a couple of years ago. Our team was just looking at best in class way to go about upsells, cross sells on our site, and also limit developer hours. That is something that you'll see as a theme here throughout the whole webinar. So the main goal with Rebuy, we again wanted to increase AOV at every step of the customer journey on site. Doing so through upsells and cross sells on PDP, in-cart, checkout. And the main theme is that we wanted to really help people buy into our bundles rather than just purchasing standalone devices. So if you're familiar with our brand, we primarily sell humidifiers, aroma diffusers, and a filtered shower head. So by purchasing a bundle, you would be purchasing extra filters, extra aroma kits that you can use with your devices. And finally, just driving higher LTV with bundle purchasers. That's something that we noticed. If you are setting someone up with not only a device, but several filters and several accessories, they are set up for next couple of months, and then they end up as customers just sticking with our brand a little bit longer. So the first example that I'll show you on our site is a Rebuy widget that we installed on our product page. So this is something that is the rules are based on the product page that you're on. In this particular example, you're on the bedside humidifier page. And what we're doing is we're upselling you into a bundle. We're showing you a duo that has 2 humidifiers. So if you're someone that has multiple rooms in their home, or just a bedside bundle where you will get additional filters. So again, those additional accessories. Here, we're also messaging the savings that you'll have. So over 30%, we're clearly showing that cross out price and the savings that you're having on each bundle. And I think the cool thing about this is that you will have the option to click on these to go to the product page, but you also have the opportunity to shop right here. So by selecting a color variant, which will change the image, and then add to cart. So again, there's no additional place that your customer has to go. They can do like all of their shopping for the bundle right on the standalone page. So moving further down the funnel, we're going into the cart, and here we're doing a very similar thing, but just a tad bit different. So here you'll see that if someone places a nursery humidifier, so a humidifier with baby safe aromas, you'll see that again, we're upselling them into that duo. For us, a lot of parents like to purchase humidifiers for their children and then put one in their bedroom as well. So it's a great use case for us, or again, a nursery bundle with extra filters. We recently launched our filtered shower head. So here we're really helping cross-sell several products, and we're messaging complete your home. So you will have a shower head in your bathroom, a humidifier in your bedroom. And once you're completing kind of shopping in your cart, really becomes like much more of an experience. You'll continue to check out, where we will make one last kind of try to upsell you into a bundle, but this one is a little bit more specific. So if you're in this point of a journey, you still have just the standalone product in your cart. Here, it's the filtered shower head. We will upsell you with a very specific bundle that relates to that product. So we're no longer giving you several bundles. We're just giving you one. We're messaging very exact savings. So upgrade and save $40. You can clearly see it here with the cross out price and the price you're paying in Coral. And then again, thing I love is that you can click on that color button, select your color variant, and add it to your cart. There's no reason for you to leave checkout and go back to that product page. So that's how we currently use Rebuy on our site, all throughout the funnel, starting with the product page, onto the cart, and then in checkout.
I love it. So well said, Anastasia. Thank you so much for sharing that story. So with that, I'm sure you guys are like, well, how do I set this up? McKinnon over at Rebuy is going to show you all of the ins and outs of how to actually set this up in the back end of Rebuy. If you are a Rebuy user, you can follow along in your account. If you're not a Rebuy user, this will just give you a little bit of a sense of how easy it is to get it set up.
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks, Ashlyn, Anastasia. Yeah, really cool to see how you set up Rebuy on your store. I don't work a lot with merchants on my side of the business, but always really cool to get to know you guys and just see how you're taking advantage of Rebuy. So for those of you who don't know what Rebuy is, just wanted to give a brief overview, touch on a little bit about what we do. So we're a personalization platform that focuses on increasing conversion rates, AOV, and LTV. And for today's purpose, we'll be focusing on that average order value function. So like Anastasia was showing, we focus a lot on product recommendations and using our AI to help power those recommendations all throughout the customer's journey. So you're able to place those product upsells, cross sells all throughout the entire customer journey. Right now, like Ashlyn was saying before, we have a little over 10,000 brands using us. And of those brands, they're seeing about a 30 to 50 times ROI and roughly a 5% average AOV boost. Okay, so yeah, now I'll get into the details of the back end of how Canopy went and set up these widgets that Anastasia was showing us. Okay, so first I'm going to touch on the product bundles that we looked at. So to do that within Rebuy, you're going to log into your Rebuy admin. From there, you're going to click on the widgets section and go to the product page. In Canopy's case, they place these bundles within their product page. You're able to place that in a lot of different places, but we'll focus on the product page for this one. And then from there, you'll go and select the dynamic bundles option. From there, you'll be taken to some settings to be able to customize your rule set. To get here, you'll just want to click on the data source option. So once you click on data source, you'll get to this rules builder. And the default option is going to be to have our AI, which is really good at recommending products. Or in Canopy's case, you can also recommend specific products that you're wanting to target for your customers. So as you can see here, they selected the humidifier duo and a specific bundle that they have packaged together. And then within that, you can also choose what language you want to use. So the 30% offer that Canopy's using, you can choose a special offer or some kind of language that you'd want to use there. Once you select all of these settings, you'll be able to hit install. And you can install this onto your site either using app blocks, or you can install it using the widget code we have directly into your theme files. For that, we have more info on that if you don't know how to do that within app blocks or installing that into your theme. We have a lot of helpful guides on our websites that go into more detail with that. But a quick overview is you'll just need to copy that widget ID and then hit install. From there, you'll be taken to Shopify to then add those app blocks and then go through the steps there. And then as an end result, you'll see how Canopy has the bundle set up, looking really good and having all those options that Anastasia was showing off before. Okay, so the next functionality I want to talk about is the product recommendations and cart. So within the cart, there are a couple options here that you can do. If you have your own custom cart that you want to place your product recommendations in, you'll do something similar to the bundles where you'll go to your widgets page, and then instead of the product page this time, you're going to click on the cart and go through that same process that we discussed before, where you'll name that new widget and then select the different rules and save that. If you are using our our cart drawer, the Rebuy Smart Cart, you'll do it a little bit of a different way, where you'll go to your Smart Cart settings and then scroll down till you see the cross-sell widget and then create a new flyout widget. And then from there, it's a similar process where you'll name that widget and then get to your rules builder. So here at the rules builder, again, similar process to where you can select our AI to help recommend products, or you can go in and select specific products that you would like to recommend to your customers. So if you have your own cart, you're going to do that same process with the bundles, where you'll do it to within the app block or installed directly into your theme. If you are using our smart cart, you'll just go back to your smart cart settings. You'll want to make sure that that box right there within the cross-sell widget is checked. And then you'll want to go to the upper right hand and hit save. So once all those steps are complete, you'll be able to see that within your cart, and you'll be able to start recommending products within the cart as the customer is going to purchase. Okay, lastly, I wanted to touch on the last feature Anastasia went over. Again, just trying to keep getting those customers to add more to their cart. So the first step with the checkout recommendations would be to go to the checkout extension section on the left side of your admin. And then you're going to go down to the new checkout extension and you're going to hit new. And once you hit new, you're going to be taken to a new page where you'll have the ability to customize this widget a little bit. To get to your rules editor here, you're just going to find that little edit gear icon in the left hand, in the upper left hand side. And once you click on that, you'll get to your rules builder, again, going through that same process as before, either selecting RAI or whatever product you'd like. And then from there, you're going to want to hit copy your widget ID again, hit save, and then go to preview. Once you click preview on that page, you'll be taken to this Shopify checkout page. On here, you'll be able to add your app block and select Rebuy. And when you select Rebuy, there's just a couple more steps to be able to get it on the checkout page. You'll want to make sure that that little check mark is there to enable it for Shop Pay. Then you'll want to enter that widget ID that you copied before in that little section below. And then lastly, you'll just want to make sure that that option below to make sure that it's not hidden is checked. And then you'll hit save. And then once all of those steps are completed, you'll end up with your product recommendations in the checkout. So like I said, that's everything. We offer a lot of different features across the board to recommend products all throughout the customer journey. If you are needing more help with any of these things, all of these details, everything I went over is in our help docs on our website, or we have a great support team as well. They're able to help you at any time. So feel free to reach out if you're needing any more information. But that's everything on the Rebuy side and how Canopy went through and set this up.
I love it. McKinnon, I feel like you have every single button memorized in this platform. I love it. If you are like in the platform following along, I feel like that was so useful to just be able to really understand the play-by-play. And even if you're listening to the recording later, you can literally follow this and just get this all set up. So that's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that walkthrough. And that was ultimately just a walkthrough on really being able to increase your AOV on site. So that's a great step in the right direction there. So with that, we're going to shift gears. We've talked a little bit about increasing AOV. Next up is how do we increase conversion rate? And that's ultimately where Because comes in. So I'm going to hand it back to the wonderful Anastasia to talk a little bit about some of the challenges that you were facing over at Canopy around conversion, how you met Because, and what the ultimate experience has been so far on ultimately increasing your conversion rate.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think I'll start by saying that, with conversion rate on site, our main thing that we wanted to do is test a lot and test quickly. and hopefully do it in like the scrappiest way possible, which makes it sometimes very difficult. So we currently work with a developing agency, and if any of you do, you probably know that retainer hours are incredibly precious, and sometimes projects, even the smallest projects, can take a long time. I think for us, we wanted to make sure that we're not spending those retainer hours on projects that haven't really proven any ROI. And that's where Because came in. Almost a year ago at this point, I took a cold call from Paula, which is why we're here. So thank you, Paula, for calling me April last year. But yeah, I think A/B testing dynamically through Because really is helping us to, optimize our CVR, experiment with a bunch of different elements, messaging very quickly, get those learnings and move forward, implement them site-wide. And also just take advantage of functionalities that we might not have built yet. So things like badging on our PLPs, or even including promotional messagings that's short term, and insert those elements into our site that are not there. So yeah, and I'll show you a couple of examples of how we did that. The first one being is utilizing Because and Klaviyo integration. So we use Klaviyo for all of our email currently, and this is a top bar test that we did. This top bar showed up on site for everyone who is in a Klaviyo segment being active subscriber. So as you heard, we sell devices, so humidifiers. If you purchased a humidifier, you most likely also got a filter subscription. So you're able to replace your filter every 5 to 7 weeks and keep having, hydrated air. So if you have that subscription and you land on our site, you'll see this top bar prompting you to manage your subscription. Why this worked really well for us, I think customers landing on a page, recognizing that you recognize them and having that personal touch really helped them convert better. This current top bar routes directly to the account management page, but what we're seeing, the behavior that we're seeing is that people are actually shopping and they're shopping more. So this top bar alone drove a 25% increase for add to carts, a 6.5 increase in conversion rate, and a 7% increase in AOV, which is just incredible. And to even further prove my point, I'll show you another top bar that we ran, really similar, but what we've done here is targeted people who have purchased our devices but do not have a subscription with us. So if you purchase a device, do not have a subscription, we are helping you get to our accessories page where you can purchase filters faster. So you don't have to go through navigation. You'll see the top bar, you'll click shop here, you'll land immediately on a page that has those filters, and you'll be able to check out much faster. Here we saw a 52% add to cart increase and a 10% increase in conversion rate. Last thing I'll mention is that we do run all of our subscriptions through Recharge. So what happens here is that Recharge is connected to Klaviyo. Klaviyo has a segment that is triggered based on behavior in Recharge, and then Because pulls in that Klaviyo segment, which shows the top bar to the people that we want to show it to. And the last example or two more, one here is more testing messaging on the site. So prior to this, what you see here, this device was actually called Humidifier Plus. And what we found that Humidifier Plus might not be very descriptive of what the product is. For us, a Humidifier Plus is really a humidifier that's bigger. It produces much more humidity in the room and it fills bigger spaces. We felt that that potentially was not very clear from the name of the product. So we tested messaging that, really contextualized the product to the customer, perfect for bigger spaces, 1 to 2 bedroom apartments, large rooms up to 1,000 square feet. We ran this as a 50-50. We just showed it on this page. Saw, again, incredible results, 31% increase in conversion rate, 0.95 conversion rate point increase, and 18% for AOV increase. And actually, after we ran this test, we implemented this campaign for 100% of our audiences. And we also decided to rename the product. So now, as you can see, it appears here, it's a large room humidifier, which we think is just much more clear to our customers what we're actually trying to sell. So that's another very cool way, I think, that Because informed us on something that we might need to change in our product offering. And the last example that we'll go through is in the cart. So here, I showed you the cart before of how Rebuy is in there, and then you kind of see the top of it, which is where the Because element plugs in, how they work just amazing together. So here, the main goal was for us to drive people from the cart to the checkout. We want them to go through the whole funnel. We don't want them to abandon the cart. Here, we are driving urgency. So if there's someone who added a specific product to cart, in this case is the nursery humidifier, we're telling them that the items in their cart are selling fast, prompting them to click that checkout button. Sounds silly, and it feels probably to people who work in marketing a little bit, funny, but it works really, really well. So 19% increase in conversion rate, 1.8% increase in conversion point increase. So yeah, just amazing results, and really, really happy that I took the cold call and we installed Because on our site.
I love it. I love that one too, because this one can be driven by like inventory across your site, actually based off inventory levels. But I think this one was more just, let's just try urgency, even if it's more of like an inflated urgency. Just anytime someone has a nursery humidifier, and it was one of those ones that you're like, is that going to work? And obviously A/B testing told us the answer to that. So I love it.
Yes, exactly.
Very cool. Very well said, Anastasia. That was so easy to follow, and really cool to just kind of see how that all comes to life with regards to increasing your conversion rate and obviously some of your other key metrics as well. So I'm going to introduce myself. Just as a reminder, I'm Ashlyn, the founder and CEO of Because, and I'm going to walk you guys through how Anastasia and team set all of this up in the back end of Because. So ultimately the goal of Because is that we are a no-code solution for creating a dynamic website experience. I think this plugs in really well with the Rebuy experience, because Rebuy is helping to like recommend products and increase AOV all throughout site. And Because is ultimately focused on really moving site visitors through to conversion. We support the entire pre-purchase journey from homepage through to collection page, product page, and cart. And we do focus on the messaging aspects. So really dynamically changing messaging throughout site, as you saw in those examples from Anastasia. So a couple of the brands that work with us, we already obviously have talked about Canopy. We do also work with Sanrio's Hello Kitty. We work with brands like Chomps, Scotch Porter, and a number of other direct-to-consumer Shopify brands that are all really looking to grow their conversion rate as one of their top priorities next to AOV. We support that entire pre-purchase journey. We do also support a broad range of text and image-based content, whether that's badges, as Anastasia mentioned. We didn't show any examples on that for Canopy's site, but we do support badges on your PLP. So if you're sending a lot of traffic through to your collection page, you're looking for a way to do more CRO experiments on your collection page, badges are a really underutilized way to do that. And a lot of merchants come to us for the very first time to actually A/B test their badges, because no one ever knows how their badges are performing, and Because can tell you the answer to that. We do also support tons of banners and text blocks, as you saw in Anastasia's examples, whether that's banners that have a background color and are a little bit more eye-catching, like that orange banner that we saw in cart. Or even simple text blocks like Anastasia showed on her product page, where they just had a simple text-based message, no background color, nothing crazy from a stylistic perspective, just kind of looks and feels like a product description, but can be used for things like USPs or reviews higher above the fold on the product page. We do also support top bars, which we showed a couple of examples on Canopy's site. We can go in place of your current top bar or in addition to. I think as you saw in some of those screenshots, those were top bars that were a little bit lower below the navigation that were not necessarily replacing the top bar that Canopy already has on site, but in addition to. So you have both of those options there. And then we do also support image-based content as well on the homepage, collection page, and product page. That's just being able to A/B test different images, change imagery based off of where site visitors are coming from. So if a site visitor is coming on site and they've, answered quiz results that suggest their like skin type or skin tone, you could change the image associated with that. So tons of options across all of your content. Data types, we support a broad range of data types that feed our rules engine. Our rules engine works really similar to Rebuy. So if you guys are familiar with that Rebuy rules engine, this will feel very natural. I'm going to show you some screenshots of the backend that set up each of Canopy's campaigns. But if you have a tech stack that looks kind of like the data types that are here, this platform will work really well for you. We integrate super well into Klaviyo, as Anastasia mentioned, integrating into all of your Klaviyo segments on site to be able to identify who site visitors are and then personalize the website accordingly. We do also integrate into both Yotpo and Loyalty Lion. So really any loyalty data that you have, we can personalize the site based off of that. We can integrate into quiz and preference data from platforms like Octane. And of course, we integrate into the whole Rebuy experience, whether you're using the smart cart or whether you're using product recommendations throughout PDP, checkout, and beyond. So the piece that I wanted to talk about before I go into just the background on how this is all set up on Canopy site is A/B testing. I think Anastasia nodded to this, that every single campaign that they run is A/B tested. This is just a generic screenshot, so this is not Canopy's data, but just as an example, the way that our A/B testing works on site, we have two different types of A/B testing. One is A/B testing against a blank control group. So as an example, 50% of the site visitors would see nothing and the other 50% would see the content you're adding. So in the example that Anastasia shared, let's say for the large room message on the product page, half of the site visitors that come to that product page will not see that message. The other half will. And then what we do is we track the performance across both group A and group B during the exact same period of time. So the only difference between those two groups is the campaign that one saw and the other did not. Those groups have to match the exact same rule set. So they both have to be on the exact same page. They have to follow the same Klaviyo segment or have the same amount in their cart. All their rules have to match. And what we do is we track any subsequent add to carts or orders after seeing the campaign. So when you're looking at group A versus group B, you're really able to compare the metrics across both to be able to understand how these campaigns are or are not driving increased conversion. This is a marketer's dream because you get real-time feedback on how good your ideas are. Or maybe even the idea that you thought might be bad, like an urgency message in cart, that actually are really awesome for driving conversion rate. So on the far right, you're able to see that real-time impact on all of your metrics. And so that is how we actually were able to get to all of those data points that Anastasia shared on each of those campaigns. So a little bit about how some of this was set up in the back end. I'm going to walk you guys through each of those campaigns that Anastasia shared, and then what the back end looked like for both the editor experience as well as the rules engine experience. The first is our editor experience, which is a full no-code editor, actually modeled after Canva. If everyone's familiar with using Canva for creating presentations and graphic design, it's a similar experience where you can edit literally every aspect of how your campaign looks. For this one, as an example, you can go into the text and the container section. You can add icons, you can change the colors. You can even add custom CSS if you would like to get more advanced. But this is a full no-code editor. So if you don't want to do any custom CSS, you should be able to make every adjustment that you'd like across padding, margins, corner radius, text, underline, bold, italic, every single aspect, all without needing to get a developer involved. You can also check it on different breakpoints, as well as go into a preview mode to check how this looks on your site before you actually go live with it. The rules that were set up for this one, Anastasia already pointed to this as well, but we have a rules engine that, again, is super similar to how you might set up rules inside of Rebuy, where you can do like if this, then that type of statements to determine when, where, and to whom your content will show on site. We do have a direct integration to Klaviyo and all of those other platforms I mentioned. So when you are inside of the rules engine, you're able to see all of your Klaviyo data, for example, right inside of Because. All you have to do is add your Klaviyo API key into the rules engine. And what Anastasia was able to do here is actually go into the rules engine, choose from the Klaviyo rule section, and then go into the drop-down menu and just see all of her Klaviyo segments. That's constantly updating based off of how new segments are getting created or new campaigns are getting sent. And all she had to do was just choose from the drop-down menu which segment she wanted, and then set either a positive or negative rule of the segment is or is not that segment. And then she can add on additional rules on top of that as well, combining that together with URL data, product data, cart data, and really any other type of data source that is relevant. The next example we have is for that looking to refill your device. So this was for anyone that was part of the Klaviyo segment that is a purchaser but has not yet subscribed yet. This is a really great way to just show you the breadth of some of those Klaviyo segments that can be used. And this one was also a great example of just being able to target that across the entire site. So just setting page type as all. This one is a very specific rule for a particular PDP. So if you ever want to just push something live on your site and you're like, I don't want to get my developer involved, I don't want to use up those precious retainer hours, all you have to do is actually go into the rules engine and just choose from a list of your products, especially for PDP content. On the left, you can see this example of the list of products on Canopy's site. All Anastasia had to do was go in here and just press the checkbox on large room humidifier. I want to show this USP on this page, and then click publish. It's as easy as that. So really great to not be able to get your developer involved there. This was another example of the editor experience there. So being able to go into that text section, I see you even added a cute little house emoji. So getting kind of creative with the styling, but obviously making sure that that styling fits within the realm of the very beautiful design of Canopy. So all of our content does automatically inherit the styling of your site. So even if you're not using a standard Shopify theme, even if you have custom code, this will all inherit the styling of your site automatically. So we're just sitting above or below sections that are already on your site. We're inheriting the sizes, colors, fonts, and padding. And then you can always override that if you want to make further adjustments inside of the editor. And then the last one we have as an example is the styling for the urgency message in cart. So this was that orange message in cart that we were not sure if it was going to convert, but it absolutely did. You can see how you can adjust the background color and all of the other advanced editing styles in the back end here. And then this one was set to show if the cart contains a number of different products. This could also be done based off of inventory as well. So that is the full overview of how all of that worked. Some of the results that Canopy was able to see. So this was across these 4 campaigns that we showed you, just kind of rolling all of that data up into a cumulative impact. Canopy was able to see a 37% add to cart rate increase, a 26% conversion rate increase, and over an 8x ROI because so certainly extremely successful across the board. So great work on that, Anastasia. Okay, so that is the full overview of how all of this is set up in the back end of using Because. Hopefully this was helpful for you guys to just get that full walkthrough on how do I increase AOV on my site? How do I increase conversion rate on my site? And to hear directly from Anastasia was just such a treat today, to be able to hear her really speak to how all of this is set up. And how she was able to use these platforms, I think is certainly more interesting than hearing me and McKinnon just talk all day. So thank you, Anastasia, for joining us for that. If you guys are interested in checking any of this out, first off, please go and check out Canopy. We do have the links to all of our websites here, so you can check out getcanopy.co. I have my humidifier and my filtered shower head. I'm already a major consumer of the brand. So you guys can definitely check out those products and buy one for you or a loved one, maybe for Valentine's Day tomorrow. But on the Because and Rebuy side, we have a couple of offers that I think might be helpful for you guys. If you're already using Because and you want to check out Rebuy, or you're already using Rebuy, you want to check out Because, or you're not using either and you got to get on your personalization game. We have 2 offers. The first is for Because we have a waived $500 14-day onboarding fee. So we have a 14-day trial. We typically have that $500 onboarding fee. If you book a demo by February 28th, the end of the month, we will fully waive that onboarding fee for you, which means you can get fully onboarded. This is about like 20 hours of support on our side to fully go into the platform and get all of this set up for you and ultimately prove out ROI to make sure that it's a no-brainer for you to move forward. On the Rebuy side, we also have an offer for an extended 35-day free trial. Again, another huge opportunity for you to go in for free, get everything set up in the platform and get some extra time in testing it all out so that ideally you can see that initial impact on both AOV and conversion rate across these two platforms. You guys can click the links in this presentation, which we will send in a follow-up email if you guys want to grab some time on both of these calendars. But you can also go to trybecause.com right now if you want to check out Because, and you can go to rebuy.engine.com if you want to check out Rebuy. So we have about 5 minutes left. What I want to do is go into some Q&A. So let's go ahead and go through some of the questions that we've had merchants send in advance for us to answer here. So I'm going to start with Canopy. Anastasia, again, thank you so much for joining us here. Just the last question for you before we wrap up. What is something that you learned while setting up both Rebuy and while setting up Because that you think will help other merchants as they go about getting started with these platforms?
Yeah, for sure. I think for Rebuy, the biggest thing that helped us was just thinking about like a very holistic customer journey, really browsing the website, trying to put our customer, hat on and seeing what will make sense. As you probably heard in my voiceover, all of our upsells are based on previous customer behavior and what we see people purchasing. So just thinking about the customer journey through the site and what makes most sense when someone is shopping. For Because, I would say that no test is too small, or there's nothing that I think there's nothing that you shouldn't test. You never know what's going to work. Even the smallest change can make a very big impact. I think that's the theme that's we've had with Because. So I think everything is worth a test.
I love that. Yeah, we've even had some merchants test like the size of badges, like a small badge versus a big. I know, Anastasia, you've done tons of cool tests around copy, colors, placement. Yeah, totally agree on that. Awesome. All right, question for Rebuy. Are there any new features that you guys are coming out with?
Yeah, so like I was touching on before, we have a lot of product recommendations throughout the entire customer journey. And now we're releasing a new feature, which is a search feature. Really cool to be able to get product recommendations within the search and provide different AI recommendations within there. We actually do have a webinar coming up going over the search functionality and everything. So if you do want to join another webinar, you can check that out on our website. If you go to the search option within our products, you can sign up to go check that out or learn just a little bit more about that new product coming. So yeah, really excited about that one.
I love it. Search is so ripe for disruption. So I love that you guys are getting on that. Feel free to share the link as well in the chat if anyone does want to join that upcoming webinar. Here's some more stuff from Rebuy. I don't know, McKinnon, if you're the one speaking in that or.
I won't be speaking. You won't have to hear me.
Not gonna get to hear from the
Plenty
wonderful
of good-
McKinnon again.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, last question is for Because. How does your Klaviyo integration work? So for anyone on the line here that is using Klaviyo, which I'm sure is almost everyone, the Klaviyo integration with Because works directly through the Klaviyo cookie. So when a site visitor arrives on site, we use the Klaviyo cookie to identify who the site visitor is. What's really powerful about that is that a site visitor does not have to be arriving directly from email in order for us to know who they are. As long as they have an active cookie on site, we can tap into everything associated with that Klaviyo customer profile, which allows us to tap into things like Klaviyo segments. This is how Canopy was able to target their recharge data, for example, in Klaviyo. If you have your recharge subscriber data inside of Klaviyo segments, or maybe it's not yet and you can easily get it set up inside of Klaviyo segments, you can then use that as a rule inside Because. When a site visitor comes on site, we can identify immediately who that site visitor is, even if they're coming to site from like a Facebook ad or they're searching Canopy on their own, we can identify that Klaviyo segment. And that really gives us the power to identify any information that you have about your site visitors in Klaviyo and really take advantage of that for personalization. So that is all we have for you guys. What we're going to do is send over a link to the recording of this webinar. If you guys have a coworker that's like, man, I can't believe they missed this, send over the recording to them to check it out. And then we'll also send over the link to the deck so you guys have everyone's websites as well as the links to book demos if you want some of those extended free trials. And if you want to go buy some humidifiers and diffusers and shower heads and all of the above from Canopy. So thank you, McKinnon and Anastasia, for joining. Thank you, Paula, for organizing on our side. And thank you, everyone, for listening in to learn about conversion and AOV. Cheers, everyone. Bye.